Welcome, Finer Things Club. We have now successfully wrapped up week 3 of the 2022 NFL season, and what a wild week it was. Lots of strange and low-scoring players across the NFL, although not everyone was like that. We had a couple teams show up this week, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But what a wild week, and what a wild league it has been. We have some real parity in this league. Love the competition. Can't wait to talk about it. So without further ado, let's dive right into that rundown.
Do you have a rundown that I could take a look at just so I know what type of rundown you're looking for?
Just keep it simple.
Keeping it simple, that's what I'm doing. But I am working hard on this one, real hard.
You're working hard on this?
No, not too hard, not harder than I should.
Right. I mean, why work harder than you should?
No,
All right, let's go into the Thursday night matchup. Number 7, Uncle Creepy's taking on JT's number 8, They Call Me Toby, and what was one of the most high-scoring matchups of the weekend, as JT's team, They Call Me Toby, moving to 2-1 with a decisive victory over Frank's team, Uncle Creepy's 155 to 129.28, as JT gets big performances from a couple of his players, notably some Eagles. Jalen Hurts putting up 31.6 points to go along with Devontae Adams 14, Brandon Ayuk's 12.9, and another Eagle, Devonta Smith, with a big 8-catch, 169-yard and 1 touchdown game, putting up 32.9 points. His tight end, Mark Andrews, having a 2-touchdown game with 28.9 points, and his kicker, Evan McPherson, with 9 points. That is enough to beat Frank's team, who had some good performances as well, but just couldn't put it together as he moves to 1-2. Jared Goff with only 13.88 points. Dalvin Cook goes out with an injury. He puts up 12.6 points. Nick Chubb with 17. CeeDee Lamb redeeming himself on Monday night with a beautiful touchdown catch, 22.7 points. Deebo Samuel with almost 13. Antonio Gibson salvages his day with a touchdown and 11 points. And Dallas Goedert with 11. Adam Thielen with 18. Not enough to get it done. Congrats to JT moving to 2-1 with some big games from some players. 2 30-point games for his players, and with almost Mark Andrews being a third. As we move on to the 1 p.m. matchup, as the number 19 Big Boobs takes on number 3 Prison Mike, and down goes Frazier in a razor-thin margin. Jake's Big Boobs with a 129.32 win over Prison Mike with a 128.2. Sorry for that. That is just over a point between the two of them, as Jake gets a massive performance from his quarterback, Lamar Jackson, 39.42 points, 4 touchdowns in the air, and another one on the ground with a 5-touchdown game. Unreal performance from Lamar Jackson, carrying the boobs this week. Austin Eckler with 13 points. Tony Pollard picking up 11. Curtis Samuel putting up 13. T. Higgins putting up 15. And Devin Duvernay with another double-digit game on the year. That is just enough, as Prison Mike struggled with some of his superstars. Josh Allen did put up 24.7 points, but Jonathan Taylor struggles again with only 12 points. Breece Hall does put up 15. Jamar Chase with only 11.7 points. Drake London with 14. Christian Kirk had a good game in 19.2 points. Michael Pittman with 15.2 points. And his kicker putting up not only 0, but a negative score. And unfortunately, that negative point wouldn't have got him the win, but would have put him within 0.12 points. It doesn't matter at the box score, because Jake moves on to 2-1, and Prison Mike moves on to 1-2. And we move on to the 4 p.m. matchup in another razor-thin margin of a game as Captain Bruisin, number 14, takes on the number 16 Scranton Stranglers, Lance's team. And what was a 122.64 to 120.46 win for Lance's Scranton Stranglers as he gets just enough to get it done. Tua Tagovailoa, 12.44 points in a weird game. Christian McCaffrey does get 13.5. Clyde Edwards-Helaire gets almost 15. A.J. Brown with a good game in 19.5 points. Garrett Wilson puts up 12. Travis Kelce doing his thing, even though he struggled a bit, still puts up a big game in almost 18 points. And he gets 12 from his kicker, who just keeps on scoring this year, Younghoe Koo, with 12 points. And that is enough to just edge out Captain Bruisin, my team, as I get 18.76 points from Ryan Tannehill. Disappointing performance from Javonte Williams with only 9 points. Jalen Waddle puts up 16. Terry McLaurin puts up 17. Deontay Johnson puts up 16. And Juju Smith-Schuster puts up 14.9 points. And that is not quite enough to get it done. Lance's Scranton Stranglers moves to 2-1. My team, Captain Bruisin, sadly moves to 1-2. And we go to the Sunday night matchup. Knights of the Night, the number 5 team, Nathan Pierce, takes on the number 1 team, Bums from the Dock. And what do we have here? A beatdown of magnanimous proportions. Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night with a giant 154-97 victory. That is right. That is almost a 60-point margin of victory as Bums from the Dock doesn't even scratch 100 points. Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night gets good performances almost all the way around. Kyler Murray with 13 points. Aaron Jones with a disappointing 4.7 points. Cordero Patterson in a huge game with 141 yards rushing, 23.3 points. Tyler Lockett with 16.6 points. Marquise Hollywood Brown with 28 points in a big game. Amari Cooper also has his first real big game with 23 points on the day. Melvin Gordon, 14.5 points. And J-Rob, maybe the story of the year. This guy is a robot. It doesn't make sense. Puts up 22.6 points on the day. Kyler's team struggles big time. Kirk Cousins does put up a solid 18-point game, but gets under double digits for A.J. Dillon, Miles Sanders, Chase Claypool, Justin Jefferson, Irv Smith, and his kicker, Justin Tucker, all get under 10 points. He does get a decent game from Amon-Ra St. Brown at 13 points. Cooper Kupp does put up 16, and Zeke Elliott puts up 14.5. That is not going to get it done. Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night moves to 2-1, and so does Kyler's Bums from the Dock. Stay tuned for more on that. As we move to the Monday night matchup, the number 2 team, Jans Cans, feeling himself, takes on the number 10 team, Somehow I Manage. Jordan Smithline's team needs a win, and they get it as he edges out Nate Hyde's Jans Cans 101-91 as Jordan Somehow I Manage pulls off a victory despite taking out his starting running back to shove it in Nate's face as Nate struggles to score 100 points. Are we seeing Jans Cans fall into a rut like the 2021 season? We will see, but Jordan gets 101 points. Matt Stafford only 10 points on the day, but Derrick Henry picks up the slack, putting up 25 points. Tyler Higbee puts up 10, Cortland Sutton picks up 17, and DK Metcalf puts up another 17 points. There were some guys who really struggled on Jordan's team. Mike Williams, 8 points. Treylon Burks, 3. Rashad Bateman, 4. And Dustin Hopkins, only 4 points. Nate Hyde's team, Patrick Mahomes does put up 18 points. Najee Harris puts up 12. Stephon Diggs with 800 cramps in that game against Miami puts up 14 points. And Daniel Carlson puts up 10. And those are the only guys with double digits. He had Kamara, Allen Robinson, Mike Gesicki, Michael Thomas, Tyreek Hill, and Kareem Hunt all go under 10 points, and that is why he only scored 91. Nate's Jans Cans moves to 1-2, as do Jordan's Somehow I Manage, and that is your rundown. Boy, oh boy, what a week we had this week. Let's talk a little bit about it. So after 3 weeks, we don't have a single undefeated team, and we don't have a single winless team. That is pretty remarkable. A couple people have noted in our group chat. I do believe we are heading for a pretty competitive season, as no team is 0-3 and no team is 3-0. We have half the league at 2-1 and half the league at 1-2. So it is really anybody's season so far. Lot of games left very early, and with an additional week now in the NFL season, there's even more time to make up some of that ground. So things are going to get real competitive, I believe. Only more and more trades, I think, will take place. Another thing to note, only one owner had a max potential points for this week over 195, and that was JT's They Call Me Toby with 212 max, which is pretty crazy considering his team just scored 155. Everyone else, tough sledding this week. But this is also a pretty crazy week in that we had Prison Mike and Jake's Big Boobs go for just barely a 1-point victory, and then Lance's team over my team with just barely over a 2-point victory. So some pretty close matchups. Jordan's somehow I managed only a 10-point victory over James Cans, but definitely would have been more had he started Saquon Barkley, but he wanted to rub it in a little bit on James Cans, taking out his starting running back, try to ease the pain. The margin of victory maybe not quite as big. And the biggest defeat of this week was Knights of the Night taking out Bums from the Dock in what is almost a 60-point victory. Oh my goodness, as two teams this week did not crack 100. That was Nate's Jan's Cans and Kyler's Bums from the Dock. No team obviously even coming close to the side pot this week. So that'll be interesting as well to take a look at. So yeah, here we are, 3 weeks in. It's going to be a competitive season, and let's dive into what these power rankings are going to look like, shall we?
Don't slip up or get caught.
Why not, man?
I'm coming for that number one spot.
All right.
Rappers swearing they own top. But I'm coming for that number one spot.
All right, man.
Scheme, plot.
All right, let's talk about these power rankings, and I am just ecstatic to discuss them, as the preseason rankings voted on by the Finer Things Club owners revealed that the league overwhelmingly and almost unanimously thought Jake's Big Boobs and Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night were the two worst teams heading into the season, followed by JT's They Call Me Toby in the 8th spot. Here we are after 3 weeks, and the power rankings, ladies and gentlemen, not done by me, but a powerful algorithm that is untouched and unadulterated from the doings and the goings of Jonathan Black. The number one team after 3 weeks in the Finer Things Club, after it runs through the power rankings algorithm, Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night at 2-1, number one team in the power rankings, followed by JT's They Call Me Toby in the number 2 spot. Let's go. Also 2-1, the top two teams. Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night, JT's They Call Me Toby, both at 2-1, followed by Kyler's Bums from the Dock, still in the top 3 spots, but moving to number 3 this week, also at 2-1, followed by the number 4 team, Matt Washon's Prison Mike at 1-2, is in the power rankings at number 4 over another 2 teams who are also 2-1. So, good to note there, Matt's at 1-2, but still number 4 in the power rankings, followed by Lance's team, Scranton Stranglers, at 2-1, barely edging out the number 6 team, Jake's Big Boobs also at 2-1. So Jake, JT, and Nathan all in the top 6 in the league, but Nathan Pierce and JT in the number 1 and 2 spots. Followed by number 7, Nate Hides, Jans Cans at 1 and 2. Then myself at number 8, Captain Bruisin. Ugh. Number 9, Frank's team, Uncle Creepies at 1 and 2. And in dead last, again for the second week in a row, Jordan's team, Somehow I Manage at 1 and 2. So very interesting development happening. And I, quite frankly, as much as I hate seeing my team in number 8 spot, that's got to change real quick. Pretty cool seeing Nathan and JT at the top. So again, starting from the bottom, Jordan's team, Somehow I Manage, number 10. Number 9, Frank's team, Uncle Creepies. Number 8, my team, Captain Bruisin. Number 7, Nate Hyde's team, Jans Cans. Number 6, that's right, number 6, over Nate Hyde's Jan Cans, Jake's Big Boobs. Number 5, Scranton Stranglers, Lance's team. Number 4, Prison Mike, Matt Washawn's team. Number 3, Bums from the Dock, Kyler's team. Number 2, JT's team, They Call Me Toby. And in the number 1 spot, Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night.
There's Paul Johnson right there. Ruined our program, and that's all right. He's still here.
Another Georgia Tech coach canned. Maybe we need a Jeff Collins ruin the program sounder. Updated from Matt. Let's see if we can work on that. Anyway, ruin the program award this week was tough. Two teams had candidates. That would be my team losing by about 2 points, and then Matt's team, Prison Mike, losing by about 1 point. I did some research, did a deep dive on who truly ruined their program this week and what made sense. Who was the more obvious candidate? We could have gone Jamar Chase. Was projected to score almost 20 points. But Jamar Chase did put up 11.7 points. He almost put up 12 points. He scored a touchdown. So I didn't feel like he was worthy enough of a candidate. The other choice on Matt's team, who I almost went with, was Will Lutz, who put up -1 points. But he's a kicker. Matt doesn't like kickers. So, I didn't feel like that was the right choice either. So I went to my team. And after searching my team, there was a more obvious candidate, and that is DJ Moore of the Carolina Panthers, putting up 2.5 points. 2 carries for 13 yards, 1 catch for 2 yards. So that is a total of 15 scrimmage yards for DJ Moore. It is tough sledding. He is a talented player, but Baker Mayfield may not be it, y'all. So 2.5 points. He was projected to score 12.5. So that's a 10-point gap, even if the man would have caught one more pass for a few more yards, Captain Bruisin would have gotten that victory, but he didn't. So you, sir, DJ Moore, have ruined the program.
Comprehension skills, subpar.
Interviewing skills, subpar.
What are you writing? Can't even give Cornell your full attention.
On the contrary, I'm helping Cornell by evaluating their interviewers.
Nobody wants that to happen.
Well, when they get my evaluation, we'll see if they're interested.
Applicant is attempting to blackmail interviewer showing low moral character.
Interviewer is threatening applicant with an arbitrary review process.
Applicant is wasting everyone's time with stupid and inane accusations.
Interviewer has suspect motives.
Applicant has a head shaped like a trapezoid.
Interviewer has turned off applicant's interest in Cornell, and they are going to go to the vastly superior Dartmouth. Ever heard of it? I think I have everything
I have everything I
You will
need.
be hearing from the
And
Cornell
you will be hearing
application
from the
department.
Cornell
You will not be
application
pleased with
department.
the
And you
result.
will not be pleased with the
And
result.
your affiliation with Cornell will end completely.
Completely.
All right, welcome back to the first edition of this season's weekly guest interview. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our first guest, and that is the owner of the number 1 team in the power rankings this week for week 3, Nathan Pierce, Knights of the Night owner. Welcome, Nathan. How are you feeling today?
Oh, feeling great. The view from the top is nice. So I'm pretty excited about that number 1 ranking.
Yeah, man, big weekend for you, Nathan. You got the Vols with the big victory. You taking down Kyler's team in a decisive blowout, and number one team in the power rankings. You got to be feeling good right now.
Oh, yeah. Saturday was great. Orange and white all over the place, checkered kneeling. It's a beautiful sight. But, yeah, I was really pleased to be welcomed by Kyler to the Sunday night matchup. I didn't know how that was going to go. But, he just wasn't ready. His team wasn't ready for Sunday. They didn't even get 100 points. So after all that talk about Nate.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about that. He said he carried you to the Sunday night matchup, and I think you left him out on the dance floor by himself. I mean, I saw only one team show up to that matchup.
That's right.
You take away almost a 60-point win. You were less than a point away from being a top scoring team this week. How do you feel the rest of the way? Like, as I said earlier on this recap, you were voted in the preseason rankings as the number 9 team. Here you are at 2-1. You've beaten Kyler. You're number 1 in the power rankings. You've beaten Jordan, who was a playoff team last year. How do you feel about your team the rest of the way?
I think we got a good shot. I wasn't so sure. I didn't even rank myself high in those rankings to begin with, but you got to have confidence after taking down the previous champ who inherited his team. I'm feeling pretty good. And, one team showed up Sunday night. One team showed up.
One team, that's right. That's the way I see it as well. So big congratulations to you. Do you have anything you want to say to your fellow league owners, Kyler, anything like that after a strong 3 weeks into the season?
I was thinking about seeing as our league is office themed. I was thinking about this week before I move on to the rest, and you remember when Stanley took Ryan to the big, it was his first sales call, and he was all excited. I kind of feel like Kyler was Ryan, and I see myself laughing at him like Stanley in the car after the matchup. So that's kind of how I feel right now. But yeah, so for the rest of the season, I don't know. There's a lot of time left. But,
man. Kyler might be Ryan from here on out after that. I mean, I think that might stick.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
The temp turned VP back to the low man on the totem pole.
That's right.
A true Ryan Howard story.
Maybe. The temp champ. I like that.
Yeah. There you go. Well, last question for you. So you're 2-1 now. You showed out the last 2 weeks, putting out 164 last week against Jordan, 154 this week against Kyler. And now you have Lance, Nate, and Matt for your next 3 weeks. Maybe some tough matchups for your next 3 weeks. How do you feel going into this week and in the next couple of weeks? Do you feel like your team's ready for a run?
Well, that's definitely a tough schedule. I got to talk to the commissioner about that. No points for strength of schedule. But, it's just going to be – those are some good teams and got some good players on there. So, I don't know. I don't know if my team will continue to show up. I sure hope they do. My man Cordero Patterson, also a former Vol, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Scored pretty high for me, so hopefully that'll continue. And, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm excited to track your success for the rest of the season. Really, anything you want to say, either advertise for trades or anything like that? Do you feel good about your team? Is the opportunity maybe to throw out maybe a need or what you're looking for, or you feel set for now?
Right now I'm pretty content. Always on the look. I don't have anything specific in mind right now, but always willing to hear a deal out for sure. So I got some good players to sell high on. So
yeah, you do. But I think like you said, you're in a pretty good place at the moment. So number one team in the power rankings, as Nathan said, it's a good view from the top. Congratulations on your victory. Congratulations on the start of the season, and best of luck to you the rest of the way.
I appreciate it, JB.
Yeah, have a good one. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Oh boy, someone's coming.
Oh, boy. Oh,
It's
boy.
Daryl. Get down.
Oh, boy.
He's not using crutches.
Oh, get over
the
there.
camera.
Get over
Start
there.
taping.
Drive.
Oh, workers, come my ass.
I can't believe this. Oh, hey, you ass!
Toby.
You gonna eat all that dog food yourself?
Man, you okay?
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
That's right, fellas. Jonathan Turner, JT's, they call me Toby, high score of the week with an impressive 155-129 win over Frank's team, Uncle Creepy's. His team definitely performed the best out of any team in the league this week. Actually, I shouldn't say definitely. Nathan Pierce did come within less than a point of this title, but it doesn't matter. This isn't about you, Nathan. This is about JT's. They call me Toby with 155 to be the top scoring team of the week, getting two 30-plus point performances from Philadelphia Eagles of all places, and came within about 1.1 points of having a third with Mark Andrews. And that is despite having a 1-point game from David Montgomery and a 6-point game from Joe Mixon. So congratulations, JTs. They call me Toby. You are the top scoring team this week. As for the rest of the league, let's go to our leaders in each position. Quarterback position, that is Jake's big boobs, Lamar Jackson, 39.4 points. As we talked about earlier, 5-touchdown game. That'll do it. And as we just talked about with JT's, they call me Toby's quarterback, Jalen Hurts, number 2 with 31.6 points on the day. And the number 3 scoring quarterback was Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night, Joe Burrow, with 26 points. On to running back. This is an odd leaderboard for week 3, as Khalil Herbert of the Chicago Bears is the leading scoring running back. That is Lance's Scranton Stranglers running back, 31.9 points. Number 2 scoring running back is a familiar face. Derrick Henry, for the first time this season, joins the club. Jordan Somehow I Manage running back with 25.3 points. And the number 3 scoring running back, another backup, Jamal Williams, my team, Captain Bruisin, with 24.7 points on the day, is the 3rd scoring running back. On to wide receiver, and another interesting leaderboard, and let's just talk about it. JT's, they call me Toby, Devonta Smith, the leading wide receiver of week 3 with 32.9 points. Number 2, a guy who is owned by nobody, of the Las Vegas Raiders, Mac Hollins, with Hunter Renfrow out, scores 32 points on the day. And then the number 3 scoring wide receiver, Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night, Marquise Hollywood Brown, with 28 points. And if you haven't noticed by now, a lot of Knights of the Night, and they call me Toby players this week in the leaderboard. On to tight end, Mark Andrews, 28.9 points. Again, JT's, they call me Toby's tight end in the number 1 spot. The number 2 spot, unowned. That is my boy David Njoku, tight end of the Cleveland Browns, with 23.9 points. And number 3, a very, very familiar face, Travis Kelce of Lance's Scranton Stranglers, in the number 3 spot. And here we go again, boys. The number 1, 2, and 3 kicker this week, all unowned. Greg the Leg Zuerlein of the Jets, number 1 kicker this week, 18 points. That is unreal. I did not know he scored that many points. Number 2 is a 3-way tie, as all 3 of these guys are unknown. Graham Gano, Cairo Santos, and Matt Prater of the Giants, Bears, and Cardinals, respectively, all 14 points. And the number 3 kicker, Riley Patterson of the Jacksonville Jaguars, with 12 points. And those are your leaders this week, fellas. Very competitive, like I said. Cannot wait to see how the rest of this season plays out. Thanks for listening again to this recap. Appreciate the camaraderie of this league, and hope you enjoyed today's recap as we had a bit of a surprise. Thank you to Nathan Pierce, owner of Knights of the Night, for the interview and the time. And as we head into the next several weeks of these next 9 weeks, we will have more interviews just like we did last year. So be ready, be on your toes, give us some great content, and good luck to everyone out there. Again, just a reminder, Survivor contest starts in just a couple weeks at the start of week 6. So be ready, as I think bye weeks also start at that time as well. Have a great day, have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Man, I ain't got nothing to prove. I paid my dues, breaking the rules and shake fools while I'm taking the cruise. Tell me who.
What do you think having a 37-year-old?
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. It's right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.